Let me ask you a simple question. Why are you still protecting the old you? Think about it. The old habits, the old excuses, the old fears, the same thinking, the same comfort zone, the same story you've been telling yourself for years. And yet, you say you want a new life. You say you want success. You say you want to grow. But growth has a price. Growth demands change. You cannot become a new person while protecting the old version of yourself. It doesn't work that way. You see, the old you was built from old decisions, old habits, old thinking patterns. And those patterns, they are comfortable. Comfortable, but limiting. The old you says, stay safe. Don't risk it. What if you fail? The old you whispers doubt. It whispers hesitation. It whispers fear. But the new you, the person you dream of becoming, that version of you requires courage, discipline, change. Here's the truth most people don't want to face. You cannot build a powerful future while defending a weak past. Something has to go. Old habits must be replaced. Old excuses must be abandoned. Old thinking must be challenged. Because success begins the moment you stop protecting who you used to be and start building who you are meant to become. You see, transformation is not comfortable. It requires letting go. Letting go of old identities, old patterns, old beliefs that no longer serve you. But that is where growth lives. So today, we're going to explore a powerful question. Why are you still protecting the old you? And more importantly, how do you finally let that version go so the stronger, wiser, more successful version of yourself can rise? Because your future is waiting, but it cannot arrive until the old you steps aside. So I'll ask you again, why are you still protecting the old you? Let's begin with a simple truth. People don't resist success. They resist change. And change is uncomfortable. You see, the reason you keep protecting the old version of yourself is not because it's powerful. It's because it's familiar. And familiarity feels safe, even if it's holding you back. Think about it. The habits you have today, you've practiced them for years. The way you think, you've repeated it thousands of times. The excuses you make, they've become part of your identity. And over time, what was once a choice becomes a comfort zone. Now here's the danger. Comfort zones don't just keep you safe. They keep you stuck. They whisper things like, this is good enough. Don't push too hard. You've come this far, why risk it? And slowly, without realizing it, you stop growing. You stop challenging yourself. You stop becoming better. All because the old version of you feels easier to maintain. Let me tell you something important. The old you does not want you to grow. It wants you to stay the same. Because growth requires effort. Growth requires discomfort. Growth requires you to let go of what feels easy and step into what feels uncertain. And uncertainty is where most people quit. They say they want success, but when success demands discipline, they hesitate. They say they want change, but when change demands sacrifice, they retreat. They say they want a better life, but when a better life requires becoming a better person, they hold on to the old one. Why? Because the old version of you is predictable. It knows your limits. It knows your fears. It knows exactly how to keep you comfortable. And comfort is addictive, even when it's costing you your future. Let's go deeper. There is another reason people protect the old version of themselves. Identity. You see, over time, you begin to define yourself by your past. I'm not disciplined. I'm not confident. I'm not the kind of person who succeeds. These are not truths. They are stories. Stories you've told yourself over and over again until they feel real. And once a story becomes part of your identity, you begin to protect it. Even if it's limiting you, even if it's destroying your potential, because changing that story means changing who you believe you are. And that is uncomfortable. But here's the truth. Your past does not define you. Your habits do not define you. Your old results do not define you. They are simply evidence of who you used to be, not who you must become. But if you keep protecting that old identity, you will keep creating the same results. Again and again and again. That is the trap, the comfort trap, where you choose what is familiar over what is possible, where you choose what is easy over what is necessary, where you choose who you were over who you could become. And here's the hardest part. No one is forcing you to stay there. The door is open. Growth is available. Change is possible. A new life is waiting. But you have to make a decision to step out of comfort, to challenge the old patterns, to question the old beliefs, because nothing changes until you do. Let me give you a powerful thought to remember. Comfort is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. No success, no transformation, no greatness. Growth lives on the other side of discomfort. And the moment you understand this, you begin to see your comfort zone differently, not as a place of safety, but as a place of limitation. So the question becomes, how long will you stay there? How long will you protect a version of yourself that is no longer serving you? Because the life you want, the success you dream about, the person you wish to become is waiting on the other side of this decision. The decision to let go, to stop protecting the old you, and to finally step into growth. Because until you do that, nothing changes. But the moment you do, everything begins to. Let's be honest about something. Letting go is not easy. In fact, it's painful because you are not just letting go of habits. You are letting go of a version of yourself. The way you think, the way you act, the way you respond to life. All of it has to change. And change feels like loss. You lose comfort. You lose certainty. You lose the familiar patterns that once made you feel safe. But here's the truth most people don't understand. What you lose is nothing compared to what you gain. You see, reinvention requires sacrifice. You cannot carry your old mindset into a new life. You cannot hold on to old excuses and expect new results. You cannot think like the old you and become someone new. Something must be released. And that process is where most people struggle, because letting go feels like stepping into the unknown, and the unknown is uncomfortable. It asks questions like, what if this doesn't work? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? These thoughts are the voice of the old you, trying to pull you back, trying to keep you safe. But safe is not where growth happens. Growth happens when you step forward, despite the fear. When you act, despite the doubt. When you move, even when you don't feel ready. Let me give you a simple picture. Imagine trying to climb a mountain while holding heavy baggage from your past. Old habits, old beliefs, old fears. The higher you try to climb, the heavier it feels. Eventually, you stop. Not because the mountain is too high, but because you're carrying too much. So what do? You let go. You drop the weight. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Reinventing yourself works the same way. You must drop what's holding you back. The belief that you're not capable, the habit of procrastination, the comfort of staying average. Let it go. And here's something important. Letting go is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. Every day, you will face moments where the old you tries to return. The old thinking, the old reactions, the old excuses. And every day, you must choose. Stay the same or grow. Go back or move forward. This is the battle of transformation. And it happens inside your mind. Now here's the powerful part. Every time you choose growth, you weaken the old version of yourself. Every time you take action, you build the new version. Every time you push through discomfort, you become stronger, little by little, step by step, day by day. You begin to change, not overnight, but consistently. And one day, you look back and realize something incredible. The old you no longer controls you. The fears are smaller. The excuses are quieter. The confidence is stronger. And the person you are becoming is someone you once thought was impossible to be. That is the power of letting go. It hurts in the beginning. It feels uncertain. It feels uncomfortable, but it leads to freedom. Freedom from limitation. Freedom from fear. Freedom from the life that was holding you back. So if you want to reinvent yourself, if you want to step into a new life, you must accept the process. Let go of the old. Embrace the discomfort. Trust the journey. Because the pain of letting go is temporary, but the reward of becoming a better version of yourself lasts a lifetime. Now let's go deeper. Why do you keep protecting the old version of yourself? Even when you know it's holding you back. Even when you know you need to change. Why do you still defend it? The answer is simple, but powerful. Because the old you feels like you. It's familiar. It's predictable. It's comfortable. And the human mind always chooses comfort over growth. Even if that comfort is painful. Let me explain. You may not like where you are in life. You may not be proud of your habits. You may not be satisfied with your results, but at least you understand them. At least you know how they work. And that familiarity creates a false sense of control. The old you says, this is who you are. This is what you know. This is what's safe. And your mind listens, not because it's right, but because it's repeated over and over again. Here's another reason. Fear. Not just fear of failure, but fear of the unknown. Because becoming a new person means stepping into a life you've never lived before. New habits, new standards, new responsibilities. And that can feel overwhelming. You begin to wonder, what if I can't keep it up? What if I change and then fall back? What if I'm not strong enough? So instead of risking it, you protect what you already know, even if it's limiting you. There's also something deeper. Identity. You see, the old version of you is not just habits. It's a story. A story you've told yourself for years. I'm lazy. I'm not confident. I'm not successful. These thoughts become labels. And those labels become your identity. And once something becomes your identity, you protect it, even if it's negative. Because changing it means questioning everything you believe about yourself. And that is uncomfortable. But here's the truth. You are not your past. You are not your habits. You are not your old results. You are simply someone who repeated certain patterns long enough that they became familiar. That's all. And what has been repeated can be changed. But only if you stop protecting it. Let me give you another perspective. Imagine holding on to something heavy. At first, it doesn't feel like much. But over time, it becomes exhausting. It drains your energy. It limits your movement. It slows your progress. And yet, you keep holding on. Why? Because it's yours. Because you've carried it for so long that it feels like part of you. But here's the question. Just because something is familiar, does that mean it's good for you? Just because something feels like you, does that mean it should stay? The answer is no. Growth requires you to question everything. Your habits, your beliefs, your patterns, and most importantly, your identity. Because if you keep thinking like the old you, you will keep living like the old you. Nothing changes until your thinking changes. And nothing improves until you stop defending what's holding you back. Here's the powerful shift. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, why am I still holding on to this? Why am I protecting this habit? Why am I defending this mindset? Why am I repeating this story? Because awareness is the beginning of transformation. The moment you see it clearly, you can no longer ignore it. And once you stop protecting the old you create space. Space for growth. Space for new habits. Space for a new identity. So understand this deeply. You are not stuck. You are simply attached. Attached to what is familiar. Attached to what is comfortable. Attached to what you've always known. But attachment can be broken. And the moment you break it, you take your first real step toward becoming someone new. There comes a moment when thinking is no longer enough, when understanding is no longer enough, when even motivation is no longer enough. That moment is when you must act, because your life does not change. When you understand more, your life changes. When you do more. You see, it's not enough to stop protecting the old you. You must begin building the new one. Deliberately, consistently, daily. Because a new life is not created in one decision. It is created in 1,000 small ones. Every single day. Let me ask you something. Who do you want to become? Not what do you want to have. Not what do you want to achieve. But who do you need to become to create that life? Disciplined, focused, consistent, confident? Good. Now understand this. That person is not built someday. That person is built today in your actions, in your habits, in your choices. Because every action you take is a vote for the old you or a vote for the new you. When you hit snooze, you vote for the old you. When you stay comfortable, you vote for the old you. When you make excuses, you vote for the old you. But when you get up anyway, when you do the work, when you keep your word to yourself, you vote for the new you. And those votes, they add up day by day until one day the new version of you becomes stronger than the old one. That's how transformation happens. Not in big moments, but in small, repeated actions. Now here's where most people fail. They wait to feel ready. They wait for motivation. They wait for the perfect moment. But listen carefully. You will not feel ready. You will not feel motivated every day. And the perfect moment does not exist. So what do? You act anyway. You move anyway. You build anyway. Because discipline is doing what must be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. Let me give you a simple formula. If you want a new life, create new habits. If you want a new mindset, practice new thoughts. If you want new results, take new actions. Every single day. And don't make it complicated. Start small. Wake up a little earlier. Read a few pages. Exercise for a few minutes. Focus a little longer. Small actions, but powerful ones. Because small actions, done consistently, create massive change. This is how you build the new you. Not through intensity, but through consistency. Not through perfection, but through progress. And here's something important to remember. You will not be perfect. You will have days where you fall back. Days where you feel weak. Days where the old habits return. That's part of the process. But don't stop. Don't quit. Don't go back to protecting the old you just because the new you feels difficult. Instead, reset, refocus, and continue. Because every time you come back stronger, you are building resilience. And resilience is what creates unstoppable people. You don't become a new person overnight. You become a new person by what you do daily. So stop protecting what you used to be. Stop defending habits that are holding you back. Stop choosing comfort over growth and start building. Build discipline. Build focus. Build consistency. Build a mindset that refuses to quit, because the future you is not waiting to be discovered. It is waiting to be created by what you do. Today, there comes a moment, after all the struggle, after all the discipline, After all the days you showed up when you didn't feel like it, something shifts. Quietly, subtly, powerfully, you begin to notice you're not the same person anymore. The things that once controlled you no longer have the same power. The habits that once defined you begin to fade. The excuses that once felt valid no longer make sense. And for the first time, you look at yourself and you don't fully recognize who you used to be. That is the breakthrough. But understand this. This moment doesn't come from luck. It doesn't come from motivation. It comes from repetition. From showing up again and again and again, even when it was hard, even when it was boring, even when no one was watching. You built something, not just results, but identity. Because real transformation is not about what you achieve. It's about who you become. You become the kind of person who keeps promises to themselves. You become the kind of person who does the work without excuses. You become the kind of person who no longer negotiates with weakness. And that changes everything. Because once your identity changes, your life follows. Let me explain. When you see yourself as disciplined, you act disciplined. When you see yourself as focused, you act focused. When you see yourself as strong, you act strong. Your actions begin to match your identity, and your results begin to match your actions. That's the chain. Identity, actions, results. And it all starts with who you believe you are. Now here's the most powerful part. The old you is gone. Not because you erased the past, but because you outgrew it. You no longer protect it. You no longer defend it. You no longer return to it. Because you've seen something greater. You've experienced growth. And once you experience growth, you can never be satisfied with staying the same again. That's the gift. Now, does that mean life becomes easy? No. There will still be challenges. There will still be difficult days. There will still be moments of doubt. But now, you are different. You respond differently. You think differently. You act differently. And that makes all the difference. Because life doesn't change overnight, but people do. And when people change, everything around them begins to change as well. So here's the final truth. You were never stuck. You were never incapable. You were never limited. You were simply holding on to a version of yourself that was no longer meant for your future. And the moment you let go and started building, you stepped into your power. So don't go back. Don't revisit the old habits. Don't entertain the old excuses. Don't protect the old identity. You've come too far. Instead, keep building. Keep growing. Keep becoming. Because the person you are becoming is stronger, is wiser, is more disciplined, is more unstoppable than anything you've ever been before. And one day, you won't just look back at your old self. You'll thank yourself for having the courage to let it go. Let me leave you with this. Your life changes the moment you stop protecting who you used to be and start becoming who you were meant to be. You don't need more time. You don't need more luck. You need a decision to let go, to grow, to become, because the old you has already taken you as far as it can. But the new you, the disciplined you, the focused you, the unstoppable you is waiting for you to show up, waiting for you to take action, waiting for you to believe that change is possible. So starting today, stop protecting the past. Stop defending your limitations. Stop choosing comfort over growth and start building. Build habits that make you stronger. Build a mindset that refuses to quit. Build a life you can be proud of. One decision, one action, one day at a time. Because remember, success is not something you chase. It's something you become. And the person you become starts with what you choose right now.